Hey, good morning, Facebook. This is Dr. Dwayne Buckingham. Just woke up this morning, decided I wanted to do this Facebook Live thing. I don't quite do this often. I know that a lot of people out here doing Facebook. But the one reason why I decided to do this morning, you all, because I woke up with a lot on my mind. And the one thing that I woke up on my mind today was to be able to talk about psychological trauma is just as bad as physical trauma or death. So what do I mean by that? Facebook, I want you all to understand that we're living in turbulent times because we are not necessarily living by God's law. We're also living in turbulent times because we continue as African Americans remain submissive. And what I mean by submissive, I've been watching a lot of videos out there that tell African American men that if you decide that you want to live, that you have to make sure that you have your driver license within reach. You have to make sure that you do not move in any kind of threatening way to alert people. You have to make sure that you conduct yourself with the highest regard for everyone else. Now, while it's important to teach our young men how to survive and how to live and how not to become a victim of violence, it's also as equally important for us to teach our young men how to deal with their psychological trauma, their psychological death. And what I mean by psychological death, each time a man submits to something that he knows that he has not done, meaning he has not done anything wrong, but he finds himself submitting, it eats at his dignity. It eats at his worth. It eats at the core of who he is. And it affects us psychologically. So in order for us also to be able to survive in the flesh, a man has to be able to survive in his mind, because a man who walks around, who feels demoralized, who doesn't feel like he's important, he is not necessarily going to be able to live out the true meaning and purpose that God created all men to be able to live out. So Facebook, I know, again, it's important for us to talk to African American men about being able to survive in the flesh physically. But I guess I'm concerned, and I woke up this morning because I have not seen much of any kind of education that's talking about how we're going to help African American men deal with the psychological trauma of being demoralized. This is something that weighs heavy on my soul as a black man, because I'm often told I need to learn how to play the game. I need to learn how to play the game so that I can live another day. But as I live another day, my mind is not in the best place. So I challenge society, black, white, and indifferent. How and when are we going to start doing some things to help African Americans and other individuals deal with their trauma? Because individuals who do not have a response or any way to deal with their trauma, then they often experience what we call post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm going to repeat that. Post-traumatic stress disorder. That means that a person has been traumatized to the extent that even after the trauma or the experience is over, they're still having problems. And I believe that there's millions of black males and other individuals who are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder because there has been a historical and obviously current oppression and depression and demoralization that has contributed to black Americans, African Americans, being demoralized psychologically. And so I think, it's time, Facebook, for us to start to begin to look at ways in which we can better address the psychological death of our African American men, because we're teaching them how to live in the flesh. We're teaching them just how to breathe another day. But when are we going to begin the process of being able to teach our African American males how to deal with the psychological trauma so they can live with purpose and with meaning? And if anyone would like to challenge me, you can definitely look me up, Dr. Dwayne Buckingham, and I would be more than happy to be able to do whatever I can to assist in this movement. But we can't continuously to look for society, meaning politicians and other people, to address this issue. This is going to have to be addressed in our households. This is going to have to be addressed, in my opinion, in clinics, in places where we have the ability to help individuals deal with their trauma. So again, this is my first time doing this Facebook Live. I just wanted to kind of tap in and check it out for the first time. Probably be doing this on a regular basis, because I think it's really important as a psychotherapist, as a behavioral health, a mental health professional, that we begin to speak out and speak on some of these issues. Because I know activists are speaking out. I know politicians are speaking out. But we also have to get to the point where we're speaking out as mental health professionals, because we have to be part of this challenge to help heal the troubled souls out here. So again, Facebook's my first time going live. I'm going to be doing this on a regular basis because I think it's extremely critical for, again, behavioral health professionals to be in this discussion. We are part of the solution, and we have many technique skills that can be able to help a lot of Americans deal with this turbulent times that we're all going through. So again, please decide to, I'm going to do this on a regular basis. I'll set a time and I'll come back and let you know. But Dr. Buckingham is going to be going live on a regular basis because I think it's extremely important that we take some time to talk about the mental health crisis in America. The key word is the mental health crisis in America. It's not a black crisis. It's not a white crisis. We're living in a mental health crisis in America. Is that we're living out of fear on both sides, and so we need to begin to have these discussions. So again, I see a couple people have joined. Thank you all. I will be setting regular times, and I like to be able to come on and have dialogue with people through questions, through whatnot. So again, first time doing Facebook Live. You all enjoy the rest of your morning. Have a beautiful day. I'm signing off. This is Dr. Buckingham. Have a good one, you all.